I'm Jeanette Novakovic, and I'll be presenting our audio slideshare on our article entitled Designing Curriculum to Shape Professional Social Media Skills and Identity in Virtual Communities of Practice. This article reports on the first iteration of a design-based research study that took place in Montreal, Quebec at Concordia University from 2012 until 2016. Our study addressed the following research questions. What problems might educators face when integrating social media practices into a professional writing course? And how can social media technologies facilitate professional identity formation to bridge the transition from everyday practices to professional? Organizations primarily use social media to disseminate information rather than engage interactively with users. Using social media strategically rather than operationally continues to be a challenge for practitioners. Corporate executives also report a number of risks associated with social media use, such as leaking confidential information and posting content that reflects negatively on the company. Virtual communities of practice can inform expertise and identity. The following graphic illustrates how a member's role in a virtual community of practice, combined with domain knowledge and levels of participation, time spent in the community, shape the development of expertise. This leads to a negotiation of a central role within the community. Due to the complexity surrounding the practice of social media, a design-based research methodology was selected, allowing for more careful and cautious exploration of the learning environment. Using iterative cycles of design and redesign allowed for the investigation of critical variables and limitations and generated more transferable and useful results. Because social media tools are implicated in power struggles and pose a risk, students self-determine participation in the social media component of the course. To balance course needs with the psychological safety of learners were given the opportunity to determine reasonable levels of engagement in the social media project. Involving the learner as a key participant in developing the curriculum allows a learner to conceive and generate activities and processes that are meaningful and relevant to their future professional life. Learners enrolled in the study reported that they experienced a number of psychological barriers to performance when transforming their personal practices to professional ones. One of their greatest psychological barriers was actually fear. Students were concerned that they might ruin their reputation, that they may lack relevance. They feared criticism, they feared exposure, they feared overexposure. Some of them simply feared that it was such an unknown territory that they were entering, that they were moving beyond their personal family networks to interacting with strangers and trying to show them that they could do professional work. Initially, students reported a number of misconceptions regarding social media practices. They believed that the only boundary is when you get caught, that there were no rules or responsibility, that the internet was the Wild West. By the end of the course, however, they reported a more nuanced understanding. They believed that it was necessary to follow rules of etiquette, to avoid critical tones, and to be optimistic, to think before they spoke, and to never put anything offensive in writing. In addition, they understood the concept of authenticity, that if you weren't authentic, that people simply wouldn't believe you, and you wouldn't benefit from the practice. The following guiding design principles were supported by our findings. Experiential learning does provide learners with opportunities to practice authentic work skills. That writing expertise is more effectively developed through situated learning in a community of practice. That managing cognitive load is key to developing expertise, and a deliberate practice environment improves performance. Innovative learning activities should be designed with the wider context of the course in mind and the relevance or purpose effectively explained to learners. Effective instructional design considers the impact of social interaction and psychological safety on knowledge development. And domain experts' use of long-term memory as working memory provides a critical advantage over novice writers. If you want to know more, please read the article. And thank you so much for listening.